Can they get a grab underneath the tier 2 tower? Jinkyu, nothing to say, they're going to try. Collapse is going to go with the RP just onto Jinkyu. Drag the sky up underneath the tower. They will lose the wave in return, but Yatore's ready to turn up. The grip's there. They've caught nothing to say underneath the tower. Yatore's pinned this off for now though. Sliding fist comes out and they're looking to turn on to nothing to say. They get him. Jump forward with the remnant. He's looking for more. Dota2 in with the chains. Onto the
What's on?
I think the game is slowly swinging into Team Spirit's favor, and they're kind of getting past that impossible timing of fighting this Tiny.
Oh, collapse! He's got another grab! Jumps in! He's gone!
Pushing safely. Forcers.
Oh! He looks for the jumper collapse. He's not able to get the grab back on nothing to say. So nothing to say. Beacon is up a mirror, holding him for the logo. The feast gets cancelled by the avalanche. The Winter's Curse coming to a quick end. And PSG.LGD are charging on the base. Boko's crashing down onto mirror. Ancient Seal for now onto Yatoro. So they're going to back up and reset inside the base. Toronto Tokyo. He's diving in. Past the tier 3s. He's able to take out nothing to say. Look at the remnant over to the side. He's got his eyes over towards Y. Or maybe even more actually. He's holding on to that. Not jumping back quite yet. As they've killed off 2. And with 2 dead, they may just have to move in and push up to the high ground. Yatoro. He's stepping up. Still a bit longer of the metamorphosis left. They're taking this tier 3 tower. There's going to have to be buybacks. Jinkyu back into the game. But a tier 3 taken here. Some damage being done to the racks as well. No Kunkka for 40 seconds.
Yeah, and no wolf fight.
He finds a grab. Jumps in. Drags back on the Skyraft main. Jinkyu. He's gone for 70. Another man down on PSG.LGD. Spirit. They'll keep the push going. And you've got to be careful, you know. Collapse is looking for another one. There it is. He's in. Drag back on Y. He just can't stop finding them. Collapse. Every single time. Pick up after pick up.
Absolutely, and it's reflected in the way that Alm is playing. But he's about to get caught here to the top lane.
There's Collapse. In with the horn toss. Dropping the RP. The BKB was out in time. He's into the invis. But the physical. Is it going to be enough here from this Terror Blade? Yatoro. He's focusing down Arme. Arme's trying to run, but he can't get away from him. They're ready to chase for more. Collapse. Steering in to close the distance. Solves the Jinkyu. They've caught the Skyraft. Set up there as well with the cast. They're ready to close up onto Faith Beyond as well. They're going for a third kill here. Skewer from Collapse. Back into the claws of Spirit.
Team Spirit has lasted through the hardest part of the game. Goes back.
There's still 20 seconds, no Arme. They can push. They can push in Spirit. They don't need a back. 20 seconds without Arme. They're going to look for more grabs before they close it up. Jump for Collapse.
When this guy was having a good game, they can make so much happen together.
And for the Team Spirit side, do you think there's anyone who can sort of stop that onslaught early?
Everybody's looking at Ember for this match. Yeah,
it has to be the Ember.
And now we're going to the final game of TI10. But before we go into game, we'll be coming to see you with Team Spirit's coach Silent.
Transcends expectation.
Thank you very much, Sumi. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the deciding Game 5 here at the TI10 Grand Finals. Team Spirit against PSG.LGD. I'm ODPixel, joined, of course, once again by the fabulous Insania. What have we got in front of us here? What have we got in store for us this game, Aiden?
Man, what a crazy game. I think the last game was very, very much in LGD's favor straight from the draft. I think this is really even, and I completely agree with what Seb had to say, where I think both teams have different things going for themselves. I think if this game does scale up, if it goes very slowly, if the 20-minute timing from the Tiny isn't abused, then LGD's draft is going to just lack in power as the game scales up. I'm a little bit worried about how much the impact the Sky, Kunkka, Enchantress combo can have together around the map, and how well Team Spirit will be able to shut it down. I think runes, just like Silence said, luck, you know? And I don't think he was joking. Luck really does matter. If they get those power runes, it's going to be huge for them.
What's up?
I mean, we saw as well from Spirit the sort of the very carefree attitude it worked out at the start of this series. I've been asked before the first game, you know, how the preparation was. Silence said, well, we didn't get to do much at all. We're just turning up to play and have a bit of fun. That fun certainly looked to be effective in Game 1 and Game 2, but Game 3 and Game 4, as we've just seen, PSG.LGD, they have stepped it up. They've hit back hard, and now is the time to see if they can continue on the road to the reverse sweep, or if Team Spirit can find that magic that was getting them through the first 2 games of the series.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be a battle of the mid laners come after laning phase. I think the laning phase is probably going to be fairly even. Both heroes will farm fairly well, but that 6-minute rune, Owen, I think whoever gets that 6-minute rune actually has a massive edge in this game, because they're going to get to decide what happens, and the other team has to respond.
Absolutely. We've seen the importance of those timings, those power runes already many times in the series, many times in the tournament itself. Both teams will fully be aware of this, and we'll see a lot of focus around that first spawn. Looking at the side lanes here, getting into the action. Who's having the rough time here in the early game?
I actually think most lanes are just going to be fairly farmy. The top side of the map, I think, is probably where you're going to see the most kind of action. There's a little bit of threat from the tiny edge to potentially make some sort of kill move, but I really think it's right now, you know, you want to get as much farm as you can out of the lanes before the supports have to rotate out. So I expect all 6 cores of this game to have a fairly decent start.
All right, well, we'll see if there's going to be any slip-ups in the laning stage.
Yeah, it's very even so far.
Mid lane, 11 for 1 against the 8 for 0. Of course, Dota2 taking quite the hit from the Tidebringers, but nothing to say. Bottom lane, Xinkyu is a little low here, but into the trees he goes. A TP away just in time before Yutoro is able to hunt him down.
Yep, so the Metamorphosis has been popped, but they have link control up top, and the advantage of having link control is the TB can't really run you down with his ranged attack the way he wants to, so not the ideal position for this meta to be used. If you're able to use it right outside of your own tier 1 tower, you can kind of zone out any other hero to come into the lane, but Faithion's doing just fine during this meta.
Poshka trying his best to get Xinkyu away from his Terror Blade, keep that area safe for Yutoro.
Yeah, nothing to say is doing very well mid. I'm a little bit surprised at this. He's almost a full creep wave ahead.
Easiest money of my life!
I'll see the courier taken out up top. Mirror continuing to trade as best they can here with White.
Yeah, doing a good job making sure this top hard camp is blocked. Oh,
well, they're going to try to move up. I mean, Collapse has hit the level 3. See if he's got enough lockdown and damage to take this kill, and yes, he does. At the same time in the mid lane, Toronto-Tokyo very low there, has to get out of the range of a potential Tidebringer. He will, but there we have it. First blood up top. A good quick read from Spirit there as soon as they knew that they had the setup and the level 3 on Magnus.
Yeah, this mid lane is going excellently for nothing to say. Toronto-Tokyo here has a hard choice of do I go for the bounty rune or do I stay in the lane and try to farm. Ooh, nice sleight of fist. Dodges on the farm. But yeah, overall, I think very stable lanes all around. TB Lycan about even. Mid lane is really the only outstanding lane so far to me.
Sure, and we know how scary Nothing to Say can get when he has a start like this. The setups that he'll be able to offer to the team, they're going to be huge, and a fair bit of damage to follow up each and every time that Nothing to Say gets a catch.
Yeah, and LGD really on top of refilling the bottle, right? You see Toronto-Tokyo is not quite getting the same support mid, and that's because their heroes are forced to stay in their lanes right now. They can't really move their pieces on the map. And already winning the lane, getting that free bottle refill, he's going to be able to steal the small camp away from Ember. This is huge. Nothing to Say is off to a great start in his Game 5 of the Grand Final.
And it's very hard for Toronto-Tokyo to do too much about it. Of course, Kunkka early on of HP, he's not going to be too scared of being burnt down by the Ember at the early levels.
Yep, and up top you see, like, this is generally how the early game is developing in this Grand Final, where the Tiny gets the 1v1 lane against the Mag, because there's no real kill threat. Neither side can really pressure each other too much, and the two supports are kind of battling it out in the jungle. But here we go, Collapse is really far up into the lane. This could be a lot of pressure.
See Mirror. Back at his side though, in case Arme and White
Yeah.
Find the connection.
I feel like the one small edge PSG.LGD has had in this grand final is they're able to keep their safe lane really close to their tower constantly. They're not losing lane control on their safe lane. And it's allowing for them to have very good creep equilibrium, and that then in return makes Collapse forced to play much safer.
Oh, see Mirror not quite able to close the gap on the courier. Has left Collapse rather on his own. Nice little circle around the tree line will keep Collapse away from the two of them.
He's actually a player that very often manages to get these jukes where he kind of takes a route that people don't expect him to and gets out of these tricky situations. Wonder if he can get out now though. Wise on top of him. He has a slow.
It's a fair bit of damage. Does still have the skewer for a follow-up impetus, or the combo of Arme can close in on him.
Yep. Faith Beyond getting initiated on bottom. Flies used, meta's used, but immediate TP out. Again, great presence of mind. You can tell why these players are in the grand finals. They're not giving anything away for free. It's not like neither team is attempting to make moves. It's just both teams are really on top of it. As mid.
See the setup here with the combo. Nice dodge. Flies off to the side here, Toronto Tokyo. In fact, over in the triangle, they're able to catch out. Or in fact, well, he did deny the boundary, but it will cost him his life. Coming over for that one there, as Team Spirit were prepared for that move.
Yeah, and Toronto Tokyo picks up the illusion rune there. So a little bit of miscoordination there. I think if you time that Ancient Seal a bit better, generally speaking, you know, you're going to use the X into Torrent. If you get the silence after the Torrent goes off, then the potential to get the boat in is there. And I think if they did the combo that way, they might have gotten the kill. But of course, the fear of Ember potentially dodging the Torrent with a smite forced them to use it too early.
Yeah, now they've sort of shown their hand mid. It's going to be hard for them to make that play again. Top lane. The Nightmare set up onto Arme. Collapse. It's got enough damage. Doesn't look like quite. The Shockwave will miss. We're trying to chase down Arme, but Shockwave and Skewer already expended. There's no further threat here against the Tiny. Arme's going to be fine.
That's good pressure though. They force them off of the lane. They finally have managed to get lane control up top, and immediately when they get it, they have the opportunity to pressure the Tiny. So force them off the wave, force them to go into the jungle, and he doesn't have any sustain, right? So he's going to have to spend gold on the next region.
They're going for him early on here with the three of them surrounding the Terrorblade. Yatoro is trapped in the trees. The moves from the supports of PSG.LGD start to come in. See the counterplay attempted. Set up with the Nightmare, but the TP's already coming over for nothing to say. He'll be ready to fight if Team Spirit push any further, and they won't. They'll respect the potential of a backup coming in for Arme. They step away to not be caught out by the combo of the Kunkka.
Yeah, Battle of the Power Rune now resumes. It's about 30 seconds left, so both teams probably talking about which supports can we bring to the runes, who can be there in time to help out. One haste, one DD, it can change the flow of the game entirely.
Toronto Tokyo also just sort of cutting the wave, maybe getting the momentum of the mid lane in such a state that he'll have that ability to check the rune, but yeah, PSG.LGD just fully on it.
DD. It's a big rune. This allows you now to have the damage to potentially burst a hero that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. And bottom lane, Faith Beyond's really trying to pressure this tower. And now that he's forced out the Arctic burn from Miposhka, Miposhka has to be very safe. He can't really sit there and be as annoying anymore and just continuously nuke the creeps. So expect this bottom tower to start falling. Meanwhile, top, is doing a great job of just defending.
He is. He's clearing out the wave, holding off the pressure. Something that Team Spirit can't quite do themselves here down bottom. Faith Beyond.
So here, it's an important smoke here that LGD are doing. They recognize that is going to sit at the tower. The Radiant team can't really defend their own bottom tower. So what are they going to do? They're going to mirror your play. They're going to go and attempt to take the top lane tier 1 tower. So the smoke up here, it's a preemptive move in case Team Spirit tries to do something. But Spirit reads it perfectly. They are aware.
And making sure not to get caught out by these early moves as PSG.LGD do start to slowly ramp up an early gold advantage. Now hitting the 1k lead, they'll be able to catch themselves. A lonely vein in the river, Mira.
Yeah, and Yatoro actually gives us a position away. He used the reflection there, so now they know the Terrorblade's in the triangle. And you can look bottom, Faith Beyond has absolutely no fear. There's no hero that could gank him in any shape, way, or form. So he's off to a really, really good start. And when we talked about the draft coming into it, it's all about timings, right? So you want, ideally, for him to finish up his Helm of the Overlord and the Aghanim Scepter before 20 minutes. And if the game continues the way it is right now, it's highly likely to happen.
Spirit, I do want to try and put the pressure up top, try and push Arme out of this top area of the map. See in the mid lane, For the catch, but again, Toronto Tokyo fully prepared.
Yep.
It's well out of the way.
Spirit are aware that the boat was used, and that means the top tower is very unlikely to be defended.
It's hard for them to get on top of Arme. Again, playing smart with the Avalanche, putting a stop to the combo. And now time's been bought for PSG.LGD to come around. Yatoro immediately out with the TP. Doesn't want to be around here anymore. Mira will get found in the trees, though. Another death here on the Bane as PSG.LGD continue to fight back against Spirit's attempts to get something done whilst the pushes are coming in elsewhere from PSG.LGD there. Definitely getting a little bit more done in this first 10 minutes.
Yep, they absolutely are. And Purge Creep here on the Lycan. This allows you to take away the level 4 Flame Guard from the Ember, which is his major fighting tool right now in the early game. So that gets purged, immediately has to back off. This tower's gone.
Oh, look at this timing here. 10 minutes, a second tier 1 tower. They're playing it fast, PSG.LGD.
Yep, LGD have the entire map to play with right now. They're controlling the entire... It's basically wherever they want to go, whoever they want to kill is an option for them. And Team Spirit, they just have to try to play this map split game where they're dragging the PSG.LGD heroes around and trying to get Yatoro to farm safely behind everybody else.
We're not going to see what the space the Collapse has got. He's going to have a good timing here on the Blink Dagger. I mean, how proactive do you expect to see them be here with this Blink pickup? Is it an immediate smoke and an attempt for a kill?
I think very likely they're going to try to make some counter move, where they try to set up a play where they expect LGD to do something and they know where their heroes are going to be, and then they're set up ready to take that fight. I don't really expect them to make some aggressive smoke, most likely around some enemy tower or in order to defend one of their own.
See, just this constant micro here.
Oh my god, Faith Beyond's being so annoying. Toronto Tokyo's trying to farm jungle with his Flame Guard, but he's just purging it off every single time.
And he's taking all the camps himself, Faith Beyond here with the wolves.
Yeah, and it's a tough position to be in if you're Team Spirit. You've really drafted this very late game heavy draft. You know it's going to take a long time for you to come online. I think if you see a team like OG play December Spirit, he probably would have gone for more of a slight chain build and try to make moves, try to set up tempo, and try to break up the pace of the game. But Toronto Tokyo opted to go for the more farm heavy route. So their draft is going to come online much later than PSG.LGD's, and that's why they're allowed to dominate the early game the way they have been.
Nothing to say. He wants to set up in the mid. Arcane Rune in the bottle. Full armlet. Top of the phase. Very tanky Kunkka this early on, and a lot of damage to dish out.
Yep. And if we take a look at the vision game, which we've been talking about so much during this series, because it's just so important, you notice you have the scouting wolves from Faith Beyond, so there's extra 2 wards basically that are running around the map and providing vision for LGD. And then on top of that, the Team Spirit wards are so defensively placed, they're right outside of their own towers, protecting their triangle and protecting their tier 2 bottom tower. So it's not really giving them any information about what's going on in the game. They don't really see any heroes on these wards, whilst LGD feel very comfortable moving around the map. So vision superiority definitely in favor of LGD. They understand what's going on the game right now much better than Team Spirit does. Team Spirit's playing exclusively off of game sense.
You can see the confidence from PSG.LGD because of that vision control. Smoke ups, they swing through the triangle here of Team Spirit. See if Spirit gets caught out on the top. They don't. Yatoro
Man, he always sniffs it out. Yatoro's so good at sniffing it out, I feel like.
Yeah, and he's made the call for Collapse to back off as well. They're both out of here.
Yeah, and this is purely a game sense read. This is him looking at the minimap, understanding what LGD is doing, and responding to it perfectly. There was no information of that play coming. Wonderfully done. There's a little bit of a play attempt set up in the bottom lane. But they just don't have the damage.
It's hard just with the 2 of them. Not a job for the supports alone.
But look at Yatoro. He's making his way over.
I mean, maybe indeed with the Terrorblade and the Metamorphosis they could get the damage done if they get a grip onto Arme. He is tanky though, 2.4 and 2400 HP. He's got the Echo Saber, the Treads. See if they can do it. Nightmare setup, instantly TPs are coming in. See if they can do the damage quick enough. Yatoro focusing down with the Metamorphosis and the illusions. They'll be able to take it. They kill off Arme. As Declare's coming in, but Yatoro is able to sidestep it. PSG.LGD, can they get a grab in return? Nothing to say. Trying to charge in. See Mira head into the trees, trying to distract them from the rest of them, but here comes the micro from White.
Nice.
He's able to lock down MEEPO-EnjoyAgame here with a setup from the Centaur. Drew it back into the combo. He'll try his best to break the combo. Nothing to say here with the curse thrown out MEEPO-EnjoyAgame, but he will still end up going down. Still though, Spirit, they'll take that. They got in. They're able to take Arme off the map. Yatoro is able to continue to farm here with the benefit of Collapse and the Empower.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But they did use both the Lycan form and the boat. And if we think about how LGD wants to play this game, it's important for them to have their cooldowns to get big kills or get big moments. While Team Spirit are happy every time nothing's happening in the game, they feel like they're getting ahead. They feel like they're progressing their game. And that's exactly what's going on now, right? They know there's no Lycan form, there's no boat, there's no team fight that's going to happen in the next 2 minutes. And they're very happy about that.
Yeah, we're seeing as well Toronto Tokyo able to silently play his game here. He's been getting a lot of space. You see already with this time, with the first time pick up the Yules, he's already rather hard for PSG.LGD to catch. He's got the Javelin on his way towards the Maelstrom, so his game, his farm's certainly going to be picking up pretty soon here. We'll see if PSG.LGD are able to find any more action to keep this league going. Arme in the neighborhood, ready to brawl in the jungle of Spirit. If Spirit give it to them, but so far in this game 5, Spirit, they've returned to sort of that fantastic ability to read the moves and just avoid any sort of engagement that is not preferable for them to be involved in.
Yeah, and I think when you're playing some sort of like Enchanted Skyra type draft, you want to be getting kills right now. You want to be punishing them. And if you take a look at the graphs, it's been about a 2 to 3k lead for most of the game. They're not really progressing on LGD's side. Yes, they're ahead, but they're not getting more ahead. And with their style of draft, you want to be getting more ahead as the game progresses. So it's looking like that 20-minute timing really is going to be everything for them.
Absolutely, especially now with the Shadow Blade done on Arme. I mean, he is ready to be an incredible killer at this stage, of course. The power of the Tiny, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I think the 2 supports from Team Spirit are going to be really, really important for this upcoming team fight, because if Bane is able to get a grip on the Tiny for long enough for TB to take good positioning and output damage, that might just be enough for them to win the game. If this Tiny goes down, PSG.LGD's draft has nothing. It's all about Arme.
This time around, Mira and MEEPO having collapsed by their side. Arme, he's just got himself Xinkyu behind him. Setting up with the Shadow Blade in preparation to clear out the wave. We'll see if Spirit hang around to try and hunt him down.
Yeah, MEEPO with the read. He does have a sentry. Oof. Looks like he might have ran up with that wave if Ahmed had just been slightly more patient. So if we take a look at items, you see the Winter Wireman's building the Blink. He understands one good curse, you know? It's all about getting the one good spell off. So having the positioning, staying back, and then blinking at the right moment, that's going to be what he's going for. And they're giving him space, right? They're letting MEEPO sit down here to try to finish up the Blink. They understand how important this is.
Absolutely. It's going to be huge, these curses, against a lineup where you're running these 3 melee cores that want to be charging in at you. Absolutely possibilities for a huge turnaround Winter's Curse to come out in these team fights.
Yeah, there definitely is. And if you look at Yatoro, he's building up for that Eye of Skadi. He wants to be tanky enough to tank the damage and then potentially get a Sunder off. That's going to be the game for him. If he's able to stand his ground with Skadi and the Tiny initiates on anything but him, he might just be able to be tanky enough to stay alive. The one person who's really not getting any farm in this game right now is Collapse. He's kind of understood that, you know what, I'm just going to get my shard and I'm going to be happy with that. If I can have it by 20 minutes, that's everything I need.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen before from Collapse how much he can get done with limited resources. This man's Magnus, certainly something to be feared. Something that got tripped up in the game, of course, where Xinkyu had the Rubik to deal with it. Something that isn't, of course, here this time round. So a bit more free of a game for Collapse to make his moves occur.
Yeah, I feel like both teams are just waiting for this 20 minutes. I mean, if the pacing keeps going like this, I mean, LGD is going to hit their timing, and then you really got to look at that team fight. The nice thing about having so much time right now is I expect Team Spirit to be really ready for that fight when it comes. But look at this. LGD are going to try to make a move right before it.
Yeah, here they go. Ancient Thunderhide leading the charge. Of course, we'll be spotted out here by Spirit. They'll know that there's actually going to be some action following it.
Great read from Spirit again. And look up top. Yatoro's just farming. 5 heroes committed down here for LGD. But Yatoro has the space that he wants.
Can they get a grab underneath the tier 2 tower? Xinkyu, nothing to say, they're going to try. Collapse is going to go with the RP just onto Xinkyu. Drag the Scarab underneath the tower. They will lose the Wyvern in return, but Yatoro's ready to turn up the grips there. They've clawed nothing to say underneath the tower. Yatoro's been this off for now though. Slide of Fist comes out as they're looking to turn under nothing to say. They get him. Jump forward with the Remnant. He's looking for more. Toronto Tokyo in with the chase. Onto the
What's on?
goes down. Why have they lost your life, but not for long? And Shockwave claims the life of the Enchantress. The Spirit or Collapse will end up dying here to the Thunderhide of Fate Beyond, but of course that will also get claimed by Yatoro. So more money for them on the defense. An aggressive dive underneath the tier 2 tower. But as we said, the turnaround, it's absolutely there. Yatoro is able to get involved, and PSG.LGD, they get punished.
Beautifully done by Team Spirit. But keep in mind, RP was expended, Metamorphosis was expended, 20-minute timing coming up, and Roshan's available too. So, huge rune, arcane rune for Ember. This could be a game-winning rune for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was once we see that Lycan form come up, expect them to make some kind of move. Actually, Tiny's missing 1,000 gold for his shard, so probably not going to be able to use his timing. So, great fight for Spirit all around. Like, proving that they can kill the Tiny is huge for them.
I mean, Miposhka's maybe even already leading into more action. He's got the Winter's Curse at the ready. Both Toronto, Tokyo, and Collapse up here ready to play around him as well.
Yeah, Faith Beyond's about 1,000 gold away from the Ags.
Collapse, he's got that horn toss, he's got that setup. Quick catch and a drag back on as Q gets him in reach of the rest of the team. They've got to watch out for these pickoffs. So something that Collapse was tearing them apart with earlier in the series.
Yep, and Collapse has recognized that, you know, the idea from LGD here is to silence him when he blinks into Horn Toss, so he can't get the skewer back. Very similar to how the Rubik functioned in the last game, but this time around they're just going to try to use a silence from Skywrath. So what does he do? He goes for the Sky. Great game understanding from Collapse.
Strange to pit now as well. Even just with the one member down with no Sky, no Jin Q, it's still enough that PSG.LGD feel that they cannot take this fight there. Letting this go to Spirit.
I feel like the pacing of the game right now, it really does favor Team Spirit, and they expect LGD to make some kind of move to try to break it up. I think they can't just let them farm out this 5-minute Aegis. Expect something to happen before that. Oh, it's such a calm before the storm kind of moment, I feel like. You see, Toronto Tokyo is just slowly farming up his items. Really, I mean, this Ember Spirit's been a beast this event, and he's only 1,000 gold off of his own Aghanims. And then after that comes a shard, and then there's just Fire Remnants everywhere.
And he hasn't been caught yet this game. 1-0-3. Struggled to contain Toronto Tokyo in this early stage. He's also going to have that DD rune ready for the next fight. Level 18, he's going to hurt. Some of these heroes on the backline, they're not going to stand much of a chance at all. Jinkyu and why? They better be pretty scared. Toronto Tokyo making the jump in on them.
Yeah, the positioning of the supports, it's really, I think, the story of this game, because both front lines are so tanky. I don't really think they're going to go down without the assistance of the supports from both sides. So Miposhka and Mira going up against Y and Xingqiu. They both have very, very tough positions to be in. You're going to have Ember remnanting into your backline, chasing the Skywrath, chasing the Enchantress. And at the same time, if Tiny gets on top of you, you're just dead. If he gets eyes on you, you're gone.
And here's that time. So they've got the Yags ready. On Faith Beyond, ready to make the move here. As you say, they don't want to be held back by the idea that Yatoro's got an Aegis. They want to fight regardless into it.
Yeah, they understand. If we wait too long, then Yatoro's going to be too strong. And here we go.
Here we go, Arme.
Oh, they see him.
Set up for success here. Towards Yatoro. And Poshka, Toronto, Tokyo, and Collapse setting up across the cliffside as Y will be the first to get poked upon. See how Team Spirit want to tackle this.
There's a DD
looking for Optus. Collapse, he's in, instantly caught out by the Ancient Seal, so no skewer to follow. Why?
Chains, back up.
Is there anything they can do to save their Enchantress? I mean, does Wyatt need saving at all? He's going to need to, as the Nightmare holds him back.
Yeah, Wolf Farm both used on Lycan as well as Tiny. So this means full reset. Now, Team Spirit are in control of the pace. They get to decide what happens in this game.
Yeah, they could push Aegis, Metamorphosis, ready for use here. Tier 2s could be on the table for Team Spirit.
Looking for some kind of pickoff. They know LGD can't fight back if they get on top of their heroes right now.
They've got their eyes on mid. Yatoro starting to rack up the gold again after the Skadi. 2,800. He's got that butterfly queued up, knows that they're not going to be wanting to pick up any sort of true strike anytime soon here on the heroes of PSG.LGD. The evasion would be huge.
I wonder if it's enough though. I like the idea of the Satanic more. Yeah, he's going for the Satanic. I really like this, because if he can survive the Tiny combo, if he can get through it, you can purge off the silence from the Skywrath, you can get one hit off and then Sunder.
Yeah, the Dispel's beautiful.
I mean, if you're a Team Spirit fan, you're very happy with the pacing of this game. You saw LGD being unable to use their first timing of the game to really do anything. So if this keeps happening like 2-3 more times, then you're in the late game, and our Team Spirit geared up to take that late game.
Ready with the setup top. Back Toronto, Tokyo, Invis Rune. Ready to go. See if he can get it. Surprise jump onto PSG.LGD. Why? It's the closest right now. It's just the two supports playing up here, really. Putting themselves in the most dangerous position whilst the cores are able to farm on the safer side of the map.
I think Team Spirit are going to look for some sort of smoke for this bottom triangle ward. This is a ward that they usually fight around when they have it, so let's see what they do. It looks like they're moving over. Gemon and Poshka, they understand the importance of the vision this game. And there's no Tombstone this time, right? They don't have that kind of teamfight vision tool on Team Spirit as they did, or sorry, on LGD as they did in the previous 2 games. Now they're relying on the wolves. So having the gem secures you that there's no wolves on top of you. They don't see where you're moving. They don't know what's going on. So great item pickup by Poshka, understanding the importance of it. It's a tense game.
I mean, you know, the Team Spirit's got the solid jump, but PSG.LGD, they've got the hard hit. If they can get in with the tiny ball, we're going to see Collapse commit. He's in with the horn toss. He's going to look to separate. Nothing to say for the rest of the team. Feed Scrub as well, locking down the Kunkka. They get the quick grab. Nothing to say. Out for a minute.
10 seconds on the Aegis, and once again the wolf forms are used, but Ahmed's deciding to retreat. They don't see the opening they want. There's no buyback on the Kunkka.
Yeah, it's hard to fight with one of their most farmed cores right now in the game. They need them all up, really, to tackle Team Spirit head on. Bit of timing left on the Metamorphosis, so Team Spirit, they can push on. 26 minutes in, starting to take down this tier 2 tower.
Up top, ooh, quick fingers. Jumped away from the stun of the Tiny.
It's the fortification soon to be coming to an end. You see Spirit, they're happy to go for the dives behind the tower. Toronto Tokyo is in, and he's found himself Jinkyu.
Great recognition there. You know, Tiny initiates on you top. What does that mean? That means there's no heroes mid to fight. Immediately dives in. Wherever the Tiny is not, Team Spirit have massive freedom to make moves. The Tiny, it's really all about this Tiny, and 2 last wolf forms have not gone PSG.LGD's way. I feel like the game is slowly swinging into Team Spirit's favor, and they're kind of getting past that impossible timing of fighting this Tiny.
Oh, Collapse! He's got on the ground! Jumps in! He's gone!
Yeah, if you're PSG.LGD right now, you really gotta try to find a way to catch Team Spirit off guard. But they have the gem.
Honestly,
they're setting
really
up their vision smartly. They're playing around where they can see the dire heroes. If you look at the minimap, look at where they're positioned. Bottom side of the map, 2 hill wards here to cover any sort of entrance that LGD try to make. So they're always aware of what's going on. Very smart positioning on the map here. Team Spirit recognize that as long as we just delay the game, we don't feed, we don't give away anything for free, we're in a good position. Yatoro will carry us.
It's alright. In position now to maybe push down a threat in another tier 2 tower. We'll see the setup looking for Toronto Tokyo, but again, he senses something's up and they don't get that catch.
The Toro now beating on the bottom tier 2 tower, doesn't get any sort of response. Means now they expect most of the LGD heroes to be on the top side of the map.
I mean, they've got Metamorphosis up in 10 seconds. Can they start to poke the high ground, or is, how aggressive do you want to get with these pushes?
It's a scary decision to make. I don't envy carry players that have to make this decision at this position in the game, but...
Are they going to make the call to commit? Metamorphosis is up for you, Toro. How hard does he want to push it into the base of PSG.LGD? Doesn't look like they want to.
I think the idea here is to try to force the LGD heroes back into the base, so that they then can play around their own wards and then potentially move over to the top side, remove any sort of vision that LGD has, and then get map control that way. And you know, with these illusions pushing safely, Forcer's...
Oh! He looks for the jumper collapse. He's not able to get the grab back with nothing to say. So nothing to say. He gives up a mirror, holding it for the logo of the feast. Gets cancelled by the avalanche. The Winter's Curse coming to a quick end. And PSG.LGD now charging out the base. Focus crashing down onto Mira. Ancient Seal for now onto Yatoro. So going to back up and reset inside the base. Toronto Tokyo. He's diving in. Past the tier 3s. He's able to take out nothing to say. Looking at Remnant over to the side. He's got his eyes over towards Y. Or maybe even more actually. He's holding on to that. Not jumping back quite yet. As they've killed off 2. And with 2 dead, they may just have to move in and push up to the high ground. Yatoro. He's stepping up. Still a bit low. Metamorphosis left. They're taking this tier 3 tower. There's going to have to be buybacks. Jinkyu back into the game. But the tier 3 taken here. Some damage being done to the Rex as well. No Kunkka for 40 seconds.
Yeah, and no wolf fight.
He finds a grab. Jumps in. Drags back on the Skyraf mage. Jinkyu. He's gone for 70. Another man down on PSG.LGD. Spirit. They'll keep the push going. And you've got to be careful. You know, Collapse is looking for another one. There it is. He's in. Drag back on Y. He just can't stop finding them, Collapse. Every single time. Pick up after pick up. You can't stand anywhere near Spirit.
No, you absolutely can't. And Yatoro's recognizing, you know, I don't have meta. I don't have my strongest spell, but neither do they. And he's just pushing it here. I think they're going to keep going for this buildings. They do not seem afraid. There's so much confidence right now in how they're playing. They get the buyback. He's been X-Mark, but he has 3,000 HP.
He's so tanky. Sunder, Satanic at the ready if he ever feels threatened.
But look at this. LGD are coming in from behind. They recognize that they can't go on the front line. They need to catch the backline heroes.
They're going to try and go for the easy kill first, or at least the easier, maybe. But no, it's not. TP out there are able to stop it. Arme's in with the combo. They catch the Bane. They need more, though. Nothing to say in the team. Doesn't look like they're going to get it. Meposhka's off into the trees. They won't be able to find him to stop that escape. Team Spirit, they take a Rex, they take a tier 3 in the mid lane, they only end up losing a Bane, pushing them up now to an 8k lead against PSG.LGD.
Yeah, and once again, both the wolf forms are expended, so you know what that means? Roshan's available, Metamorphosis is ready in 10 seconds, Team Spirit are going to eye it up.
It's going to get even harder to deal with Yatoro now. He's got the full Silver Edge done, so the ability to sort of duck in and out of the fights. He is going to be a right nightmare to deal with. We see Arme's farm not too far behind, but you definitely feel that at the moment, with the timings that they've hit, Spirit as a unit are so much harder to deal with than it is for them to take down PSG.LGD.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's reflected in the way that Arme is playing, but he's about to get caught here at the top lane.
There's Collapse, in with the horn toss, dropping the RP. The BKB was out in time, he's into the invis, but the physical, is it going to be enough here from this Terrorblade? Yatoro is focusing down Arme. Arme's trying to run, but he can't get away from him. Arme out for 80. They're ready to chase for more. Collapse, steering in to close the distance, Salt to Jinkyu. They've caught the Skyraf, set up there as well with the cast. They're ready to close up onto Faith Beyond as well. They're going for a third kill here. Skewer from Collapse, back into the claws of Spirit.
Team Spirit has lasted through the hardest part of the game. Now, everything is theirs. They just need to play this calmly, don't overextend, recognize that as long as we play around our own timings, this game is firmly in our grip.
I mean, there's 3 dead. There's no buyback. It's only nothing to say. And why left here for the defense? As Team Spirit, they're under the tier 4s. They've got a fortification, but there's still those long, long seconds before they get their 2 claws back in the game. PSG.LGD.
They're going to have to try to do something. I don't think they have enough time to wait for Tiny to respawn.
See how carefully Team Spirit play it.
Goes back.
There's still 20 seconds, no Arme. They can push. They can push in Spirit. They don't need a back. 20 seconds without Arme. They're going to look for more ground before they close it up. Jump ball for Collapse. Jinkyu goes down. Nothing to say as well. Checkpoint, nothing to say on the buyback. 8 seconds until Arme with the ancient. They're looking to close it up. The championship, they can take them. The backdoor protection is in. The backdoor protection is in. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. PSG.LGD, they'll start now to force Spirit back out of the base. Meposhka will get himself out with a blink. They just need to reset Spirit.
They're trying to get out. Faith Beyond's on top of Mira though.
They've got the curse. Holding back the Lycan. Why? Being a bit of a nuisance off to the side. Get the impetus onto Mira, but why? It's chased down by Collapse. You sure they've got him. Toronto Tokyo, long mana. James holds it back, but now with the BKB armor.
He has buyback though.
Straight back in with the Revenant. Gets instantly caught out with the Torrent. With the silence as well. Jump forward. Collapse. BKB. Still back. Into the crunch of the Toro. They could be able to look him down with the RP. Where's the detection? Where's the detection? No detection. They need to see him. They don't get to see him. Oh my. He's going to live. He's going to turn towards Spirit. He's still very low. And then a slide chain. They get him. They finish him off. Oh, nothing to say.
What a TP.
What a TP. He's out. He's alive.
So, no buyback on Toronto Tokyo. No buyback on Faith Beyond.
Boy.
No buyback on Arme.
Oh my goodness.
There is a Roshan.
There is.
Oh, I thought that was going to be it.
I mean, it was so close. But the backdoor protection kicks in. PSG.LGD are able to pull together a defense. They lose their tier 4s. But the Ancient still stands.
Yep, Satanic used Sunder as well. You can feel the nerves. I can feel it. It's just so much on the line. Just one Sentry Ward could have won them the game there, but Support's unfortunately not able to get into range.
Let's see what they can do around this pit. They're still down 16k PSG.LGD, but they've got all their old stuff. It's going to make any sort of steal. They've already managed to set up here onto the Cold Cup. They're going to go straight to where you talk coming into the BKB. The cards holds back army on the side. Nothing to say. He's going to go down. Out for 110. Yatora's ready to step over his next target. He's looking over towards Arlen. Collapse. Pop in the BKB. And Maposhka keeping himself alive with the cold embrace. Spirit. They'll turn over towards Arlen. But Arlen's still going to BKB to go. He's killed off another support. He's looking at Toronto Tokyo. Toronto Tokyo by the time of the He's got another remnant. Slight this into the remnant of the high ground. He's away. Both teams again. Yeah, sneaking around under the cover of these silver edges. Watching one another.
Metamorphosis is out, but so is the two wolf forms. It's both teams taking it safe right now. But look at why. He's stuck on the cliff.
Why?
Dude, look at how carefully they're playing it. They're scared to walk up here and try to kill him.
Watch, like... Oh, they got him.
There we go.
They'll take him off the cliff.
But look at Roche!
Oh,
it's killing Roche!
Oh, no, he can't do it, surely. They can't try and collapse. He's got his eyes on him. Still nothing to say all white for 50 seconds.
Alone.
He's gone in alone. That was a risky move. He's got the back of a Jin Q. But Spirit, they're going to chase on. Slot chase. Oh, no, he's gone. 2 minutes, no Tiny. Ancient exposed. Spirit, they'll make the walk over towards the Ancient.
They're not waiting for the creeps.
They're ready to close it this time. Only 2 left. Can they stop a PSG.LGD? I don't think they can. GG's got it. It's over.
It's GG.
It's over. GG. They've got it. They have done it. Team Spirit. They come into the grand finals. 2 games straight up. They take away from PSG.LGD. Game 3 and Game 4. PSG.LGD, they hit back. But the Game 5, even though they get knocked out in 3 and 4, Spirit, they come back with the same skill and ability that's taken them this whole road to the grand finals. And what a road it has been. They take that Fnatic, OG, VP, IG, Secret,